It is 6 p.m. in Maroua in the Diamari division of the far north region of Cameroon, same time in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television with me. For me, I'm Strong Sander. As the post-electoral unrest deepens across Cameroon, the legal team of presidential hopeful Issa Chiroma Bakari is pressing for legal and diplomatic sanctions against top officials of the ruling CPDM party in Cameroon, accusing them of confiscating their victory in the October 12, 2025 presidential election. In an exclusive interview with Equinoxe television and radio, Italian-born barrister Jamel Taleb reveals what they are doing at the African Union, the European Union, and the United Nations. He will also be telling us about the whereabouts of Issa Chiroma Bakari at this moment. Plus, Cameroon entered into day 2 of an uneasy lockdown and ghost town this Tuesday, October the 5th, 2025. It was a double-faced but deeply revealing atmosphere viewed from across the Cameroon. We shall be telling you on just how it unfolded this particular day of the month of November in this edition of the news. Stay with us for details. Once again, we're glad to have you in this edition of the news. Now, we told you in our top stories that Issa Chiroma Bakari's lawyer, barrister Jamel Taleb, says sanctions must be placed on Cameroonian top authorities by the European Union, the African Union, France, and other international organizations and institutions like the United Nations, following what he qualified as a gross violation on the rights of Cameroonians during peaceful protests that followed the declaration and proclamation of the result of the October 12, 2025 presidential election. Our reporter Mala Glory had an exclusive interview with the Italian-born barrister currently based in Paris, France, and compiled the following for us.
Due to the escalation of the post-election crisis following the announcement of the results of the presidential election on October 12, the African Union, the European Union, France, and the United Nations unanimously condemned the armed repression and violence on civilians, which has led to casualties. They call on the government of Cameroon to investigate those responsible for such acts and to ensure transparency and render justice in order to put an end to human rights violation in Cameroon. Unfortunately, 1 week later, nothing has been done by the said government. According to barrister Jamel Taleb, the lawyer of Issa Chiroma Bakari, all legal means will be put in place not to allow impunity set in.
If a country does not respect its population and its peoples and does not respect their rights, this country does not deserve our respect.
He furthers that for a country to ignore the will of its population, uses the law to penalize its citizens, and torture meted on them is described as a declaratory judgment. For this reason, he says the European Union will have to apply sanctions according to the Cotonou Agreement signed in 2000 between EU and African countries, including Cameroon, emphasizing the respect of human rights.
La violation des droits de l'homme est manifeste. La situation du non-respect des droits de l'homme est visible. Et quand on voit l'état dans lesquels...
The violation of human rights is manifested. The non-respect of human rights is visible. And we look at the way prisoners arrested during the post-electoral violence are treated. We are part of the people who will ask the European Union to place sanctions and for France, its partner, to intervene to end such treatment on its population.
Qui non seulement a usurpé l'élection présidentielle, mais au moins qu'ils arrêtent de martyriser leur propre population.
This is coming at a time when some young people who were arrested during the electoral protests are still in detention.
And the scars of the post-electoral tensions are still visible in several families and neighborhoods across Cameroon, especially families who've lost their loved ones. In the Newtown Aeroport neighborhood of the Douala 2 municipality, a family is mourning the death of their loved one. 28-year-old Enna Priscilla, who was hit by a stray bullet during the protests that broke out following the proclamation of the results of the presidential election precisely on October the 27th, 2025. Today, I report that Asia Lucy Liengo visited the victim's residence in the Douala 2 municipality and compiled the following report.
The atmosphere is melancholic at the residence of Enna Priscilla in the New Tong Arepor neighborhood, Douala 2. At the age of 38, she was one of the victims who lost her life tragically when a stray bullet struck her during the violent protests that erupted following the announcement of the October 12 presidential election results. It is an unbearable and difficult situation for her brother and entire family who are still trying to come in terms with her untimely death.
Before I was not around, I was not with her. I went out to see somebody. When I came back, my phone was with her. She told me that somebody has tried calling me. When I took the phone, I went behind to answer the call. Coming back, people were crying. Just in 2 minutes, I shot her.
Meanwhile, the neighbors of Priscilla, popularly known as Mami Eros, say the memories of the sad circumstances leading to her death are difficult to erase.
I started hearing gunshot. I said, hey, let me go out. I came out. As I was standing I was trying to see what's going on. I heard people saying that's April, the family Tombe. The first person on the scene, I saw her lying in the gutter, her face on the gutter. I came and called the family. We went, carried her to a nearby clinic opposite us here. That clinic said they can't do anything, but she was still talking. The bullet took her from behind as she was trying to retreat, to run back home.
For the past 7 years, Priscilla, an internally displaced person from the crisis-hit Northwest region, sought refuge in the New Tong Arepor neighborhood with her husband, who died a year ago.
Now she too is gone. The daughter is fatherless. The daughter is motherless. It's very sympathetic.
To earn a living with her 11-year-old daughter, she sold Ero and Watafufu in the neighborhood. Her family, yet to receive any assistance from the state, is carrying on with the funeral arrangements.
We have been going on with the program. Bringing out the program is not easy because the roads are blocked all over. So we thought it wise to do the wake keep on Sunday. Then on Monday we can take the cops from Tega Hospital to the village, because from there we can pass through, we can manage from there to Manfi, through Manfi, before we reach Bamenda. Now they say we have 3 days lockdown. Today is the 2nd day. We are looking on the 3rd day to see what will come forth before we proceed.
Priscilla will be laid to rest in her native village in Womb, in the Northwest region, on November 10th, 2025.
And the city of Maroua in the Fan of region is experiencing a near total shutdown on this 2nd day of the announced 3 days ghost towns and lockdown across Cameroon by presidential hopeful Issa Chiroma Bakari. Thousands of shops are set to be closed, and many students are also seen staying at home from schools, which observers say might impact their performance of the 2025-2026 academic year. The governor of the Fan region, Mejiawo Bakari, on his part, made a tour of the town and also assessed the half-hour of economic activities. But the protests in the town of Maroua seem to be having a significant impact on economic and social life. Sadiq Chakuchu has more in the following report.
The city of Maroua in Cameroon's far north region remained paralyzed for the early hours of Tuesday, 4th of November 2025. The ghost town protest on this day was widely observed. Thousands of shopkeepers chose to keep their businesses once again closed. A movement that also paralyzed the education sector, as many students are no longer going to school. A situation which, according to the principal of the government bilingual high school of Maroua, will have an impact on the 2025-2026 school academic year.
Les cours ne se sont pas arrêtés.
Classes did not stop. They were slowed down because on the side of the parents, they kept their children at home for the simple reason that the atmosphere is not good due to the ghost towns. The year is moving on and we are asking the children to come and get registered for the official exam. In this context, the governor of the Far North region, Midi Yawa Bakari, made a tour taking stock of the situation in his area of command. We have found that shops have closed in so many neighborhoods of the city. We also did a few turns in some schools where the teachers are present, but there are not a lot of students. It's time for us to ask the parents to release the children to come to school. As the ghost town protest enters its second day in the town of Maroua, the inhabitants oscillate between fear, resignation, and uncertainty of a situation whose outcome no one knows when it will end.
Unlike markets in Maroua in the Far North region, many shops have remained closed at the Douala Central Market this Tuesday, despite an ultimatum issued by the Douala City Mayor on Monday for traders to open their shops or have them sealed for respecting a declared 3 days ghost town effective in some major towns and cities across Cameroon. At the Ndokoti Market, Aqua, and other places, most shops remain closed with just a handful open. Others in the area indicate that they were simply afraid. In educational establishments visited this Tuesday, the turnout of learners was still timid, though with a slight improvement as compared to when post-electoral unrest started in the city. Also, transportation from Douala to the southwest region is said to be timid following an announced border closure by armed separatists operating in the southwest and northwest English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Innocent has more in the following report.
I'm touching down here at the Douala Central Market on Tuesday, exactly a day after the Douala City Council Mayor was here to warn traders to open their shops and make sure that business activities will gain full steam. This is following the announced 3 days lockdown in the city of Douala as well as the entire Cameroon. We are here to take stock of the situation to see if traders have actually respected the ultimatum given by the Douala City Mayor, Rochim Bassa Dine. Here we have one of the traders at the Douala Central Market who will be telling us exactly their situation.
We cannot respect that because it's not them who told us that we should open our shop. We should not open around 3 days, and we will respect that because everybody is hungry. So everyone is not satisfied. We cannot come and be selling as some people is fighting around about everyone. The major cities, they come here yesterday and be telling us that if it doesn't open today, they will lock all the shop.
And today you are here. Is your shop open? Or why are you here today?
We have not opened. We have not opened. So we just come so that we should look for little something for children in the house because things has been wrong. We doesn't have anything in the pocket. We have been suffering since.
Are you not afraid that your shop will be sealed by the mayor who is determined to do so?
I'm not afraid. If they lie, they come and carry all and go with because we have been suffering since. You cannot be afraid for a long time. They should make sure that they should arrange this problem.
That was the reaction of one of the traders here who decided to keep his shop closed. We'll also be sampling the opinions of other traders and also to see if shops have been opened and if they are closed and finding out why the decision.
Certaines boutiques sont fermées.
Another says authorities used to chase them away and can't force them to open when things are working negatively in their courts.
J'ai demandé d'installer et c'est le même sous-préfet que depuis, ça fait 2 ans aujourd'hui, qui nous poursuivait dans les magasins pour prendre nos marchandises à les brûler. C'est lui qui nous demande encore d'installer.
We are at the section of the Douala Central Market to actually see if shops are open. Right behind me, as you can see, this shop is closed, just like others that are closed up to that extreme. Also at this corridor, we can see that most of the shops are closed. We will also be meeting with a trader who has decided not to open his shop to find out from him why he has taken that decision.
We pay our taxes, so he has no right to threaten to seal our shops if we choose to close them. There is no security here. If we open our shops and they are vandalized, will he compensate us? Others whose shops we met opened said it had nothing to do with the city mayor's intimidation. The ghost town has permitted me to come here and evaluate the state of my shop. At Ndokoti, a usually dense and busy economic area, most shops remained closed on Tuesday. Just a handful were partially and fully opened. Similar scenario in Aqua. Most shops did not open, but their owners were around to ensure they are safe. Some hoped to catch customers and serve them as if they were in the black market. A few widely opened their shops to attend to customers. In a nutshell, most of those doing business in quarters, markets, and other commercial areas since the unrest started are roadside vendors and hawkers.
Depuis même la semaine passée, on ne parvient même pas à voir les gens dehors. On ne voit même pas les clients.
From the markets, we made a stop at Collège Évangélique New Bell. There, we noticed a timid turnout of learners on day 2 of the declared ghost town. However, teaching was ongoing effectively.
Les parents avaient retenu les enfants, mais cette semaine, ils ont quand même progressé.
Parents retained their children home, but this week they released them to come to school, though not all.
Parce que pour nous, ils ont droit à l'école, c'est pour eux que nous luttons.
Our next stop was at Government High School Oyak, where the turnout of students on Tuesday was rated at 60% compared to 21% on Monday, day 1 of the 3-day ghost town.
Nos effectifs avaient vraiment pris un coup.
The administration attributes this to special dispositions put in place through the creation of platforms to encourage parents and assure them their children are secured. They also organized a conference to find solutions to enable the continuation of the learning and teaching process at 100% in order to meet their overall objective.
Nous avons communiqué au maximum avec les parents d'élèves.
Students on campus say those who have been kept home by their parents are lagging behind. They admit being conscious of the political unrest in Cameroon, but cannot afford to jeopardize their education and future. They encourage their mates to brave the odds and return to their respective classrooms.
Nous ne devons pas oublier que sans nos études, nous ne sommes rien, et c'est ça qui fera de nous ce que nous serons demain.
Another sector we took a look at is the transport sector. While at Rompoint Daido, where vehicles leave for Buea and Limbe in the southwest region, we noticed transportation to and from these Anglophone areas was timid following a declaration of closed borders by armed separatists, a risk taken by some drivers who had unanimously protested against the media filming them loading at the Rompoint Daido Motor Park. Since the start of the post-election unrest, every sector has been hit with activities ineffective like before. While some people complain, hoping normalcy returns, the majority of the population says they stay determined to reap the change they long wished and voted for massively on October 12, 2025.
Meantime, civil society leaders in right different days have lambasted the city mayor of Douala over his announced shutdown of stores whose owners have been respecting the ghost town and lockdown calls from presidential candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari, who continued to say that his victory has been confiscated. Despite the risks of being attacked and their shops destroyed, traders are being forced or compelled to open their shops or be sanctioned. A statement from Rujemba Sadine, mayor of the city of Douala. Details with Babila Jonathan.
Douala City Mayor Roger Mbassadine threatens to deprive business persons in the country's economic capital of the right to do business at their respective business sites over the fact that they have been respecting ghost town called by Issa Chiroma Bakari. The decision attracts the astonishment of civil society leaders and right defenders.
Je suis surpris de la posture dans un contexte où tout le monde parle de paix.
Philippe Nanga, coordinator of Amont Avenue Civil Society Organization, is surprised by the fact that at a time when almost everyone is speaking peace, preaching peace. Some authorities are still using the language of war, threatening Cameroonians with illegal sanctions.
Une sanction qui viole, n'est-ce pas, tous les règlements.
He says
les commerçants doivent au moins savoir que c'est une violation de leurs droits.
The business persons should know that the announcement of the city mayor of Douala is illegal and they can take legal action if the rights are violated. To consumer rights defender Aïssi Abena.
Qu'ils puissent déposer et distribuer des kits alimentaires aux ménages aux revenus précaires.
Instead of threatening traders, the city mayor should rather take action to help poor families who are unable to feed themselves in these difficult times by providing basic food supplies to such families.
In Bamenda, in the northwest region and several parts of the region, daily life is slowly returning after yet another shutdown following Monday's regular separatist-imposed ghost town in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon amid a renewed nationwide calls for a stay-at-home linked to the post-electoral unrest in Cameroon. Residents in the northwest regional chieftain Bamenda are cautiously reopening businesses but interrupted by road and deplorable nature of our transportation network, paralyzing economic and social activities with no regular movement into and out of Bamenda since October 27, 2025. Details with our northwest regional chieftain correspondent Mbustela.
After observing Monday's usual separatist-imposed ghost town, life in Bamenda timidly returned this Tuesday. The atmosphere remains tense, shaped not only by the region's long-running insecurity, but also by the nationwide ghost town call made by one of the October 12 presidential candidates. Although shops and markets in Bamenda opened their doors gradually, movement remains limited. Interurban travel agencies are still grounded.
I'll make you one kilo.
At Imbon Market in Bangui, business is on, but in slow motion.
Transport about 7 animals a week. That's one a day. Yes, every day we slaughter. Or 6. Since Monday is already off, we slaughter 1 animal in a day. That will be able, because now things are not really moving. But in those days, we used to slaughter even 14 animals a week. But things have slowed down.
Though activities resumed normally this morning, conversations on the streets reveal growing public awareness of the post-election atmosphere nationwide.
We are relatively calm in Bangui. Yes, because we have first of all suffered a lot. So we don't even want any problem coming from anywhere. So after the result, though we are just hearing that disturbances are everywhere. But I want to beg my fellow brothers and sisters that life without peace will gain nothing.
Across most parts of the northwest region, the day began slowly but eventually picked up. Still, the air remains filled with caution as residents continue to navigate political uncertainty, regional insecurity, and everyday survival.
From the northwest to the southwest English-speaking region, the town of Buea, regional chief town, has this Tuesday been relatively busier than it usually is on ghost town days. Inhabitants in Buea say that they have just survived from a 6-week separatist-imposed lockdown and can only afford to suffer for the regular Monday traditional ghost towns. Adding 2 more days to this, they say, will have a significant but devastating impact on their income-generating activities. Shops in Buea were open and movement fluid. Rexafon from Buea.
Is relatively busy this Tuesday.
In mile 16 where I am, you would see that on a normal day, that is, if it were to be a ghost town day, people will not be moving around like they are.
To some, the now traditional Monday ghost town is sufficient.
We are very okay with our Monday ghost towns. We don't need any other additional ghost towns. We've been suffering here for more than 10 years. Nobody has come to help us. So they should try and see how it looks if people are on ghost town.
Others say the economic situation of the country obliged them to go out and hustle.
I just have to open, because even if I don't do that, how can I cater for my family? How can we feed?
we can't continue to stay indoor, because if we continue indoor, it means we'll definitely die of hunger. We need to stay alive. The atmosphere in Cameroon is not that good. It's not that good. It's not really good. Things are going backward. Things are not pulling well. Businesses, even despite the fact that we open, businesses are not going well.
Only that, most travel agencies here still remain inactive, especially the ones transporting people to Yaoundé, Chang, Bafoussam and Bamenda. Unlike early last week, a few passenger vehicles traveled to Douala.
I came here about 8:30 in the morning. So I've sent about 2 vehicles like that. So things are not really moving the way it usually moved back then. There is no passenger. People don't want to travel because they are afraid. About this time, I've sent about 8 or 10 vehicles like that to Douala, Rompoint, Daido.
Calls for amicable settlement of the ongoing crisis in the country still resonate here.
All I want is peace, and I see my country very peaceable. And I know God is taking us to another level. But I beg for all those who want to bring problems that they should calm down. God is in control.
Though many here are supporters of presidential candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari, their realities have prevented them from adding 2 more days to what they call the normal Monday ghost town.
And on to something else, a letter from Archbishop Samuel Kleda of the Douala Metropolitan Archdiocese to the governor of the Littoral region of Cameroon, Samuel Jodene Ivahadzibwa, dated October the 27th, 2025, announced a working session between Vatican emissaries and local authorities in Douala ahead of a planned visit by Pope Leo to Cameroon. However, Cameroonian Jesuit priest Father Ludovic Lado has expressed mixed feelings about the visit. In a letter to the Pope, Father Lado pleaded that the timing may not be favorable due to the tense atmosphere linked to political activities, especially within the context of a post-electoral unrest across Cameroon. Immaculate Fogwe reports on that.
Father Ludovic Lado, a prominent Cameroonian Jesuit priest, expresses concerns about the planned visit of Pope Leo XIV to Cameroon. In an open letter, Father Lado pleads to the Pope to reconsider the visit, citing the country's ongoing political crisis. He cites the disputed presidential election and subsequent violence and repression as reasons for the Pope to postpone the visit. Father Lado goes further to explain that the Papal visit could be exploited by the government of Cameroon to gain legitimacy, which he believes will be illegitimate. He emphasized that the Catholic Church should not endorse a discredited government and instead call for mediation to promote peace, truth, and justice. The Jesuit priest concluded that the Papal visit will be better received once the crisis is resolved and the country is reconciled, allowing a more genuine and joyful celebration of the Pope's visit. According to our sources, Pope Leo XIV is set to embark on his first trip to Africa in early 2026, marking a significant milestone just 6 months into his papacy.
And it is with news on religion that we put an end to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on your #1 television network, Equinoxe, live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you immensely for your keen attention, urging you to stay in the company of interesting programs on Equinoxe. Shortly after this, we shall be having a regular program that will be a debate program with a host of guests around Serge Alain Otto. Ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed, stay with Equinoxe. Have a nice evening.